We are surrounded by countless designs. Like the air we breathe in, designs found around the city add beauty and convenience to our daily lives. Here are people who dream of a happy city, where design lends it a sense of humanity. People who create cities with design imbued with a spirit of humanity. Design that's more beautiful inside than outside. Shall we take a look? One hour away from the legislative capital of South Africa, Cape Town, is the rundown town of Dunoon. A long-time problem afflicts the neighborhood.
Corruption.
Corruption?
Yes.
And the crime?
And the crime is too much.
Sometimes it's very dangerous, like Christmas time, New Year, because there are a lot of schools. They can lob children.
Children growing up here are easily exposed to crime and violence. The slum relocation policy that began in 1995 has enabled many people to buy cheap houses, but in Dunoon, the residents struggled to escape poverty. 16-year-old Ayanda doesn't have her own room. She sleeps on the couch and tidies away her blanket in the morning to make space for the living room.
I am Ayanda, and this is my mom, Cleopatra, and my little brother, JJ, and my little sister. My mom and my dad and my little brother sleep on the bedroom, but me and my sisters sleep on the floor. And it's very hard because we get to share one toilet and we have to wait for one to done and then we're gonna get in. And it's very hard because we get to school late.
Now you don't work at the Sunningdale anymore?
Yes, we don't. Because of the pandemic, they had to close.
The COVID-19 pandemic has made things worse as both of Ayanda's parents have lost their jobs. Their breakfast is simple maize porridge. Ayanda is worried about going back to school.
There were some changes because at school they need some things in the middle of the month and we have to wait until the month end, but then
Ayanda's still on holiday, but she gets busy right after eating breakfast. It's because she has to go somewhere. She leaves the house in high spirits. Shall we follow her? She arrives at this eye-catching building, standing tall among run-down houses.
Hello, Ayanda. Hello. Where are you guys going?
going to the library.
And who is this?
This is my friend Liana.
Aha! A library. When Ayanda and her friend Yano don't go to school, they spend their time at the library. After greeting the librarian, they set off on a book hunt among the fully packed shelves.
It's close to our houses and we like these books and we can get some peace in here.
Opened in 2019 as the only library and public facility in Dunoon, the Dunoon Learning and Innovation Project functions like a cozy, safe, and fun communal room for the residents of Dunoon. Anyone is welcome to visit and learn from the books donated from all parts of society. Connect to the world via the internet and play sports and games in a cozy environment. This space was designed by Ms. Liesel Kruger Fountain, a city official and urban designer.
The story of the Dunoon Library starts
with the first project that we started doing in 2013, which was the Local Area Planning Initiative, where we found out what was needed in Dunoon. The community highlighted that a library and a place where people could be safe, can come and sit and enjoy, where they can do their CV, etc., is very important for them. And that was the beginning of thinking about how can we really design a building like this in a very, very dense urban community.
The community was planned for 3,000 households, but the population increased by more than 5 times, generating various social problems. The city government found the solution in learning and education. And in 2013, they began on the design. And over the next 6 years, they worked on a sports complex assembled with containers, a plaza, and a library for the squatter dwellers. And in May 2019, when the library finally opened, the residents were ecstatic.
As Dunoon and the space for this is very little and small, we had to maximize on every last bit that we could do. So even banisters had to double up as bookshelves, bookcases, and here you can do and sit and read any time of the day. And other elements are charging points for cameras and for phones and everything else, and bookcases in the banister.
Since it opened 2 years ago, the library has welcomed anyone who wants to read, engage in discussions, write their CVs, and exchange information. In short, it's a place where people can dream of a better future.
Is the green walls. This offers an incredible opportunity for light protection, green in the environment, because the community here doesn't have a lot of green in the environment. So this gives like that kind of calming, softening effect for the building. And it also extends outwards, which helps with the glare of the building in terms of the green wall.
It's true, we can't see a single patch of greenery.
That is what real sustainability is about. You can see here that this was just the first phase. Phase 2, 3, and 4 can happen after this. And that will make an amazing city for our people from Dunoon.
Hello guys, hello guys, hello guys. Today is Dog Diaries. As we all know that this is the month of love, Valentine's Day, so we are going to discuss about love.
A weekly book club. It's this gathering that made Ayanda so busy this morning. The book club is the only learning opportunity that the children have now since they can't go to school due to COVID-19.
When I started the book club, other children, they didn't even know how to read, they didn't even know how to use the library. So when I see the results, when they can just come, they don't need any assistant anymore, they just go to the shelves and choose the books of their choice and come to the desk and take out. So that makes me very, very proud of what we do to this community.
The good thing is I get to bond with my friends, and I play this huge role whereby I always remind them to come to the library as their group leader.
The Dunoon Library is not simply a place for reading. It hosts various events and concerts and offers happy memories to take home. That's how it nurtures what the squatter residents need most: hope.
Good design for humans is something that is functional, that helps them in their needs, and also something that is beautiful. In a community like Dunoon, it is so important to kind of like maximize on design to really get the quality of what we want for people in Dunoon.
The more books she reads, the more hope grows inside her. As soon as she returns home, she begins to read. Every day, she reads to her little sister who can't read herself yet. Ayanda knows that these moments will help her one day.
Proud of the advanced manuscript collections. I wanted to be like me, like have her own book club when she is in my age.
2019. South Africa's Dunoon project received the global spotlight for its human city design. All across the world, the human city design is on the rise. The human city design makes public spaces more useful and beneficial for all. It's an ever-expanding discipline branching out to all sectors of society. If everyone, regardless of their social status, can live comfortably and happily, then we'd be living in a better world.
디자인이 반드시 상품을 만든다거나 무언가를 예쁘게 만드는 것에 그치지 않습니다. 우리가 일상생활에서 우리 문제의식을 좀 발견하게 되고 또 다양한 사람들과 그 해결을 찾는 여러 과정들을 의미하기도 하죠. 결국 공익 디자인 그리고 공공 디자인이라고 하는 것들은 우리가 함께 살아가는 도시에서 어떤 문제를 어떻게 해결하고 또 다양한 가능성을 어떻게 찾아보고 하는 모든 것들이라고 생각하시면 될 것 같고요. 그랬을 때 디자인이란 생각부터 그리고 과정, 모든 결과물을 아우르는 중요한 부분이라고 볼 수 있을 것 같습니다.
Organizations that identify problems in our urban setting use design to come up with a solution. That is the human city design. An era in which children's drawings decorate an incineration plant and professional designers and organizations cooperate to create a cultural complex for youth. It's an era of the human city design.
공공 디자인은 특정한 어떤 계층 혹은 사람만을 위한 것이 아니라 아마도 사람을 둘러싼 모든 환경과 사회를 위한 디자인이 아닐까라는 생각이 듭니다. 특히나 어떠한 특정한 주체에 의해서가 아니라 결국은 시민이 주도해서 본인들의 문제를 발견하고 또 다양한 전문가들과 함께 활동을 하고 결국은 모두의 공존을 위해서 각각의 이해관계자들이 모두 힘을 합쳐서 만들어 나갈 수 있는 그런 공공 디자인이 앞으로의 방향이 아닐까 싶습니다.
In response to the rise of human city design, a committee of renowned design scholars has been holding a special meeting once a month at DDP in Seoul. It's to bring together human city design models found around the world and give them the recognition they deserve. The movement is led by the Seoul Design Foundation and supported by the world design industry.
그거에 대한 의미와 그런 얘기를 좀 해줄 수 있다라든지 뭐 이런
The steering committee for the 2020 Human City Design Award is composed of 12 members from 8 countries who have been meeting up once a month for the past year, sharing human city design projects and setting guidelines to ensure a fair selection process. To be selected by the committee, human city design must meet these criteria. It must be sustainable and shareable, and be created through participation and cooperation. Plus, it must be creatively adaptable and inspire others. In short, the standards are pretty high. And the world's most outstanding human city design projects were selected and showcased for the first time in 2019. The world's first public design award that aims to create a happy city, the Human City Design Award.
휴먼시티 디자인, 우리가 사는 그 도시의 거주민과 또 디자이너 그리고 지자체 또는 공공기관들이 서로 협력을 해서 사람답고 또 보다 더 나은 삶을 향한 우리의 커뮤니티 또는 관련 디자인들을 만들어가고자 하는 그런 의지를 가지고 일찍까지 실천해온 많은 사람들이 있어요. 그 사람들 중에 정말 의지 있는 사람들이 모여서 만들어진 상이에요.
What's more surprising is that the number of submissions increased greatly in 2020 despite the COVID-19 pandemic. One project based in Korea is Gomo Station in Daegu. 2 people who are closely following the human city design trend have come to the station. Human-oriented architect Professor Chung-gi Lee and JTBC political journalist Hae-won Shin.
혹시 기차역에 얽힌 추억 같은 거 있으세요?
예, 저는 어릴 때 시골에서 살았는데 그 도시로 나갈 때 이런 작은 기차역에서 그 기차 타고 도시로 그렇게 나간 기억들이 많습니다. 그래서
기차역에서 맛있는 거 팔고 막.
예, 그러니까 간이역들에서 이제 서면 기차역에서 뭐 오뎅 곡물, 뭐 그다음에 과자 이런 걸 다 팔았어요. 그때는 창문 너머로 이렇게 팔고
네.
주고받고 막 그랬거든요. 신 기자님은 그 정치부 기자신데
그러니까요.
이거 어떻게 도시 문제나 또 이런 디자인 쪽에 관심이 이렇게 많이 가지시게 됐어요?
정치도 사람 사는 거 좋게 하려는 거고
예.
그러려면 내가 사는 도시 이런 공간이 잘 이렇게
예.
꾸려져야 하잖아요.
아.
그래서 뭐 도시 재생이라든지 그런 데 관심이 많아서 뭐 지인들이랑 같이
예.
프로젝트도 해보고
경리단 프로젝트
예.
하신 경험.
친구들이랑 좀
예,
했었는데
예,
이번에
예.
또 좋은 기회가 있어서
그럼 뭐 굉장히 그런 경험을 가지고 도시 재생이나 리모델링 앞으로 관심 또 많이
그렇습니다.
가져주시면 좋겠습니다.
이런 공간 같은 것도 있고.
예.
The two have come to a way station that closed in 2006.
그런데 듣기로는 전체를 다 리모델링 했다고 했는데 이 외관 자체는 그대로인 것 같아요.
아마 그 시골역 자체의 그 외관 풍경은 옛날 기억을 되살리기 아주 좋은 거라서 아마 외관은 그대로 살려서 벽돌하고 지붕 모양은 거의 그대로 리모델링 한 것 같고요. 아마 내부는 추측컨대 좀 천정도 뜯어내고 새로운 전시 공간을 만들면서 바뀌지 않았나 하는 생각을 합니다. 들어가세요. 제가 이렇기 때문에 레이디 퍼스트. 예측한 대로 내관은 거의 천정을 뜯고 전시 공간으로 꾸몄습니다.
The small but historically important Gomo Station was in operation for 95 years. Opened in 1925 during the Japanese occupation and closed in 2006, the way station reopened in 2018 upon the public's request. The historical frame preserves the cultural vibes of early modern Korea. The ceiling has been raised to give more space to the exhibition hall that displays photos of the past. The seats in the waiting room might still hold memories of all the people that passed this room as they left for the city and returned to their hometown.
노랫소리도 들리는데.
예, 그러네요. 옛날 당시에 축음기도 갖다 놓고. 안녕하세요. 예.
Here is someone who has witnessed the transformation of Gomo Station.
전이 폐쇄가 되어 있었어요. 그런데 이제 시민 단체들이나 시민회 분들이 이 역사를 이렇게 그냥 이렇게 허용 없이 들어오셔가지고 여기서 시낭송회라든지 작은 음악회를 하신 거예요. 그래서 코렐 본부에서 이러면 안 되겠다라고 생각을 하시고.
Gomo Station was expected to become a fading memory once it closed. But local residents continued to send requests, and eventually, Korail, the city of Daegu, and citizens joined hands to reopen the station as a cultural complex in 2018. Do you all know this song by the late Hyunin? The backdrop for rainy Gomoryong is none other than Gomo Station. This song and the gramophone on display are all part of people's memories of the station. Word spread fast about this cultural complex revived by the citizens, and it naturally became a tourist attraction.
그런 고모형 느낌 어느 정도 살리면서 요즘 또 레트로가 대세인데 이런 좀 아이템들이나 이런 옛날 LP판 같은 게 되게 좀 요즘 트렌드에 좀 되게 예쁜 것 같아요.
Gomo Station is imbued with the scent of the citizens of Daegu. Even today, it lends a small part of itself to local musicians who need a place to sing. people who love art and treasure memories. Instead of neglecting this small station, they applied public design to the old and created a space where people can share happiness. You all probably know where this is. The Cheonggyecheon stream area by the Seoul Arcade in Jongno, Seoul. We can find examples of the human city design here.
교수님 이쪽 세운상가랑 청계천 일대 많이 오셨었어요?
예, 뭐 제가 학교 다닐 때는 이쪽에 잡지, 그다음 만화 이런 것들 고하느라고 친구들하고 많이 왔고
네.
이제 최근에는 도시재생 사업 시작하면서 세운상가 재생 이제 MP를 맡아서 이쪽 지역 봉사하러 많이 다녔습니다.
사실 저는 청계천으로서의 이게 더 익숙하거든요.
아, 그러시죠?
네. 교수님,
예.
저건 뭐예요?
이게 이제 청계 시소라고.
저게 시소예요?
예, 시소인데 두 사람이 타는 시소가 아니라 한 사람이 타는 시소입니다. 스스로 자기 동력으로 높게 올라갈 수 있는 장치를 한 시소라고 합니다.
A seesaw for one person. I'm curious to find out more.
안녕하세요.
반갑습니다.
안녕하세요. 황 교수님이시죠? 이거 만드신 맞으신가요?
네, 제가 만든 여러분들 중에 한 명이고요.
아니 근데 이 시소가 있는 위치가 밑에서 보고 깜짝 놀랐거든요. 다리 위에, 세운교 위에 굉장히 높이 있어요. 이 자리에 이 시소를 설치하신 뭐 이유 같은 게 있을까요?
서울시의 어떤 도시 역사와 굉장히 관계가 깊은 장소예요. 양쪽으로 벌어지는 이런 도시 문제들이 잘 보이는 장소이기도 하고 또 이 장소, 이 광장의 이름이 또 세운 광장이기도 하고요. 그래서 그런 여러 가지 상징성을 가지고 이 자리를 선택하게 되었습니다.
Back in 2019, master technicians from 26 manufacturing stores in the Cheonggyecheon and Oljiro area, designers, artists, and community activists collaborated voluntarily on the making of this symbolic monument. They wanted people to have fun here and remember this place. The Cheonggye Seesaw is a piece of installation art, but it's also an example of the human city design that used to be open to the public twice a week until last November.
디자인이라는 거는 저 자체의 겉으로 보는 디자인보다도 저걸 만들기 위해서 여러 사람들이 같이 노력했고 계획했고 완성해냈다는 데서 큰 또 디자인의 의미가 있지 않나 하는 생각을 합니다.
Haewon bravely gets on the seesaw.
간다.
There's a bit of pedaling to do, but she seems to be enjoying it. The view is the reward.
공공 디자인이라고 하는 게 사실 디자인하면 예쁜 걸 얘기하는데 앞에 공공자가 붙으려면 시민들이 공유하고 또 참여하고 협력하고 또 그게 일상 속에서 지속이 되고 그러면서도 좀 어떤 삶의 어떤 행복이랄까 즐거움을 줄 수 있는 그런 역할을 해야 된다고 생각하는데 그런 의미에서 공공 디자인이라는 게 앞으로 우리 사회에 더 많아져야 하는 거 아닌가라는 생각이 들었습니다.
It's like finding warmth on the cold metal seesaw. The search for happiness using the human city design must continue. Autumn 2020. A group of people were busy selecting human city design projects that could improve urban settings. They received 99 public design projects from 31 countries until early September. The jury had to select the winning pieces. 3 virtual conferences took place to bring together the committee members in the UK, China, the USA, Italy, and Korea. The selecting committee for the 2020 Human City Design Award had judges from 5 different countries carefully reviewing each project. They were looking for future-oriented designs that could solve urban problems and be applied to other parts of the world. And finally, 10 winning works were revealed. Airborne. Bandung. Led by Indonesian designer Tita Larasati, the project involved painting murals on rooftops in the slum area of Bandung in Java and developing products using materials from a garage bank. The project was expanded to help teenagers in low-income families. Countless Cities, led by Andrea Bartoli of the Farm Cultural Park Project. The abandoned areas of Favara village in Sicily, Italy, were transformed into spaces for exhibitions and community interaction. Design meets the Koi Favela. A total of 167 experts partook in this design project based in Belo Horizonte, the third largest slum in Brazil, and changed the brands and logos of some 90 businesses operating in the area. Eden Paradise Memorial. In Korea, memorial facilities are built far from the cities. This project aimed to change people's perception of these facilities by building a columbarium in a beautiful complex with gardens, a wedding hall, a library, and a restaurant. Elephant World. A design project that returned elephants to the Kui people of Surin, suffering from indiscriminately cutting down of trees, drought, and lack of food. The village was transformed into a tourist attraction. Fuzhou Urban Connector. A 19-kilometer-long elevated forest trail that spans the length of the Jinyushan Mountain in the middle of Fuzhou, China, and connects it to the city without any damage to the environment. Medean River Park. A park design project in Medean, Colombia, launched for the reconciliation between riverside settlements that had been torn by conflict since the building of a canal. Sakai Hotel. A town designing project that involved remodeling abandoned houses in Osaka's Fusei district into hotels and working with local businesses to develop cultural programs. Sururu Damundao. Led by 3 designers, this project aimed to introduce a virtuous economic cycle in the Mundao Lagoon slum area by helping the residents make a living by producing tiles with discarded mussel shells. Water Fountain Garden. A public design project that invited French artist Louis Grand Emmanuel to create a garden in the slum area of Sikap, Senegal. It offers various cultural programs to the residents. These 10 projects were selected as finalists.
How can design play a role in making better cities with a focus on the people, with a focus on participation? We also wanted to see which projects had values embedded in them that you could call global ones, values we share. And the third thing we wanted to always see, does your project exemplify some sense of a future vision for a city?
作品是否真正地解决了当地某种需要或者问题？作品是否具有打动人心的一种人文情怀和精准有效的解决问题的目标、方法和技术手段？作品是否具有突出的创新性和地域性的特色？作品是否可以在全球范围内进行推广？
So how about it? Won't more of these designs make our cities a little happier place to live in? And finally, early last March, the day of the 2020 Human City Design Award ceremony.
지속적으로 많은 전 세계가 관심을 갖는 것은 사람 중심의 인간적인 도시 또 디자인을 통한 사회 문제 해결과 지속 가능한 사회를 위한 어떤 열망들에 대한 모든 전 세계의 디자인계 또 도시 디자인 쪽의 관련자들의 관심사가 끝없이 이어지고 있는 것이 아닌가 이렇게 생각합니다.
In accordance with COVID-19 prevention measures, only 36 people attended the ceremony. But there was great interest in the 2020 Human City Design Award. The designers of the top 10 projects and the selecting committee also held a conference to exchange ideas about public design.
忽略了我们对自然价值和人文价值
Most of the finalists were overseas, so their respective ambassadors attended the event instead.
Motive of great pride to be here and represent two fellow countrymen who were selected as finalists to this prestigious award.
It's really very worth, and I'm very grateful for this award given to the Italian designer.
그 어느 때보다 어려운 시기에 바쁜 시간을 내주어 이 행사에 참석해 주신 모든 참가자분께 다시 한번 감사, 환영의 말씀을 전해드리도록 하겠습니다.
And the ceremony begins. Shall we meet the 10 projects that are contending for the grand prize? Indonesia's village makeover project that invited slum dwellers to draw murals on rooftops, to develop and sell products using materials from a garbage bank run by local women, and offer programs for neglected teenagers. Airborne Bandung. A project to revive the dilapidated village of Favara, Sicily, reputed to be the base for the mafia. The abandoned areas were changed into spaces for contemporary art exhibitions and community interaction. Countless cities. A project based in Brazil's third largest slum, Belo Horizonte, and involving 167 designers and experts who redesigned brands and logos of local businesses and created hundreds of new jobs. Design meets the Kohi, Favela. A project that dared to build the much-avoided columbarium in an easily accessible area among beautiful gardens. A wedding hall, a cafe, and a restaurant. Breaking stereotypes and changing the realm of death into a realm of life. Eden Paradise Memorial. Designed by Thai designer Boonserm Premdada and supported by the Surin government, this project created a space for the impoverished Kui people to live with elephants once again and make an adequate living. Now a tourist attraction, Elephant World. The beautiful mountain of Jinuishan in the middle of Fuzhou, China. A 19-kilometer-long forest walkway was built to connect this natural heritage to the city without damaging the environment. Fuzhou Urban Connector. Colombia's eco-friendly park built along a river for the reconciliation of the east and the west communities of the river. Medean River Park. A town design project that remodeled abandoned houses in Osaka's Fusei district into hotels and worked with local businesses to provide cultural programs to tourists, thereby creating an intergenerational community. Sakai Hotel, a project that introduced a virtuous economic cycle in another slum district in Brazil, the Mundau Lagoon area, by helping the residents make tiles with mussel shells. Sururu da Mundau. A garden and a communal lounge created by the residents of Secaf, Senegal, and a French artist. Water Fountain Garden. The selecting committee shared the view that all these 10 projects demonstrated the possibility of creating a human-centered city, a city that makes our day-to-day life a happy one. And the work that set the best example among the 10 finalists. Which project will take the grand prize?
버려진 공간을 전시 공간으로 탈바꿔 지역을 문화 공간으로 다시 살아나게 한 이탈리아의 카운트리 시티즈 프로젝트의 팜 컬처럴 파크 팀입니다. 축하드립니다. 폐허된 지방 도시에 주민들과 함께 공동으로 가치를 창출해 문화 도시로 탈바꿈한 아름다운 사례입니다.
The Italian designer couple won the coveted title and the prize money of 100 million won. Great news for the family from the morning.
네, 다시 한번 진심으로 축하드립니다. 뜨거운 박수 보내주시기 바랍니다. 네, 진심으로 축하드리겠습니다. 영광의 주인공 이렇게.
Being a human city is a permanent goal for us, using art, culture, and education to take care of children, of teenagers, of the elderly cities is our mission.
Abbracciamo, cada abbracciamo, cammino giù.
Cambie del mondo.
Cioè questa è andata.
Belli.
E vorrei celebrare, vorrei trovare un modo, nonostante il Covid, per poter condividere questa gioia con tutti quelli che ci vogliono bene.
Then, shall we head to the small village of Favara in Sicily that set the base for the prize-winning project? Everywhere you look, you will come across art. The project to transform run-down, empty spaces with culture and arts began in 2010. Now, the entire village has become an art park. The two designers who transformed the village through the human city design are celebrities here. It also helps that an increasing number of tourists are coming to the village and bolstering the economy.
Una parte che ha subito il cambiamento in maniera attiva, quindi Favara in questo senso è cambiata perché dopo Farm sono nate diverse strutture ricettive, diverse anche attività correlate a quello che è appunto l'ospitalità e che a loro volta ospitano delle installazioni, delle opere d'arte e che non sono solamente strutture ricettive o comunque quindi correlate al turismo, ma anche attività commerciali.
Up until 10 years ago, the village was on a downfall and reputed to be the base for the mafia. However, the two designers persuaded the villagers, brought together artists, and launched the project that would change everything. Now, Favara hosts an international biennial once every 2 years and welcomes more than 100,000 tourists annually. Only 10 years ago, the village had some of the most desolate back streets in the country. That is no longer the case today. Now, tourists lose track of time looking at the murals in the alleys. All this was possible because the residents accepted the designer's creative and experimental ideas and were willing to wait.
È cambiato tutto. Quando le persone dicono che le cose non possono cambiare non è vero. E Favara è la dimostrazione vivente che veramente le cose possono cambiare. 10 anni fa questa città era conosciuta come la città della mafia, dei latitanti, dell'abusivismo. Oggi è diventata la città dei giovani, della sperimentazione, è diventata una piccola capitale mondiale della rigenerazione urbana.
In Favara, you will be happy. Now, another name for Favara is a happy village.
La forza del design è nel poter parlare con tutti, dai grandi ai piccoli, uomini e donne. Non ha bisogno di mediazioni, è un linguaggio universale che raggiunge tutti.
Design might not be able to make everyone happy, but it can act as a passageway that links people, society, and nature. How about searching for happiness with design imbued with the human scent, one step at a time?
My dream is being an architect designer.
JTBC